Hey everyone, welcome back to Reissued. If you're new here, my name is Andrew. One of the next rooms that we want to tackle in my home renovation is this room, my office workspace. I feel a little badly that I opened so many of my videos here and it always looks like a complete mess in the background. So in the spirit of preparing this space for transformation, I'm going through a lot of stuff, clearing out some stuff that I don't need, assessing what I want to keep. And so for this video, I'm wanting to make some new artwork to sell this weekend at my local market. And I thought that rather than going to the thrift store and purchasing something new, I should shop my stash and try to clear out some of the stuff that I already have. And so I have a couple pieces here that I thrifted or acquired that have been sitting in my corner for a long time. And so I thought we should transform them and clear them out of my life once and for all. I'm gonna take you with me. I think this is gonna be fun. Let's jump on it. Okay, so I've already done some prep work for this project. I searched through all of my manyest things that I've acquired and found 3 pieces that I want to try to work on today. If you're like me, I do tend to acquire a lot of things. I like to create starting from something rather than starting from nothing, and that means having some things on hand to choose from, but it's a little out of control, so we're gonna address that. Let me show you what I got here. Okay, so firstly I have this piece. This actually at one point was a blank canvas. In my high school years, I decided that I wanted to paint swirlies that dripped down the canvas. I had just discovered the magic of paint dripping down a canvas. I still love that, but I'd like to think that I found a little bit more creative ways of utilizing it. In any case, I went in recently and tried to kind of layer up some teals and browns to make this work, and I still hate it, so I think we're just gonna do a complete overhaul here and cover this up. I'm gonna blow up a face really large and layer some of my thrifted 99-cent patterns on top of the actual face this time to sort of create the contours of the face with the patterns. That's the idea anyway. We'll see how it turns out. And then with this little one right here, I like how smooth this part of the frame is, and I want to go ahead and cover the entire thing with the collage effect. I printed out 2 copies of the same face. I'm going to put one on there, color it in, paint it, layer it, and then put the second one on top and peel it off to kind of create a contrast. And then finally with this one, I'm pretty sure this was like a seascape at one point with all this texture being the waves. I've painted over all of it in this dark gray color. Honestly, I wish I had left it because I think that the color variation there would have been kind of interesting, but it is what it is, we're here now. And so what I think I'm gonna do is do half a face on this side and create sort of a torn effect down the middle using this texture, and then have the other half of the face on the other side so it feels sort of like it's been 2 photos of the same person torn apart. Obviously, I'm gonna be using some of the same techniques and concepts that I used in the Transforming Thrifted Art video. I really love how those pieces turn out, and that was kind of a new direction for me. So now I have all these questions about like, what if I tried this? Or what if I incorporated it in this way? So I'm kind of working with variations on a theme here, taking those ideas and expanding on them, seeing how far I can push them. I think sometimes as artists, it can feel like you have to reinvent the wheel every time and do something totally new and totally different. But I think it's perfectly valid to take an idea that you just worked with and push it in a new direction and kind of like get excited about exploring that idea fully, which is totally where I am right now. So I measured my pieces, I sourced my images, I scaled the images, printed them out, cut off the edges, all the prep work is done. We're ready to jump in and start putting some pages on here. So right off the bat, we're verging off of what I thought was gonna happen here. I thought that I had measured these pretty well and that they all were gonna be bigger than the pieces and fully cover the edges and everything, but clearly they're not. They're all kind of too small, so we're gonna work with that. Also, on the final image, you may notice that there was some issues with the printer. I don't know why, but it started coming out really pink and streaky. But in the spirit of embracing chance and fate, we're gonna go with it and see how it turns out. I'm gonna start in with my Mod Podge and start putting these down. In the comments on the Transforming Thrifted Art video, some of you mentioned that you would use a Liquitex gel medium or a wallpaper paste to get a smoother finish. There's definitely different things you can use there. I want to experiment with those at some point for sure. But I already have the Mod Podge on hand since I purchased a new one in the last video, so we're gonna go ahead and use that today. couple days later, I took some time away from these. We're back and ready to jump back in for phase 2. I think the most stressful part is over. I definitely had a few panic moments there on the first round, but of course that turned into some happy surprises. Let me show you. So midway through this one, I did not like the placement because the eye was gonna be over this crease here, which would just look kind of creepy. So I had to pull this and shift her over, which means that this paper didn't pull up fully. So we're gonna go with that as this kind of weird, torn, layered look. And then on this one, I'm pretty sure this piece is placed wrong or upside down or something, but I had to fill in some negative space around the edges. So I took off some of the margins here, tore them off and put them around. So it gives a little bit of like a pixelated feel where there's some areas that are really square or really harsh, and then some areas that are soft. Also note on that last one that it is a black and white image, but I printed it in color on the printer rather than just using black and white ink. And so as expected, that gave a little bit of bleeding and color separation with this kind of teal and pink thing going on. And so I think we're gonna try to work with that and enhance that a little bit as we start to add some color. Okay, so I'm at kind of a stopping point here. It's funny, in my last art video, I mentioned that every piece goes through a phase where I hate it, or there's gonna be a part where it's uncomfortable. And ironically, in that video, either of those pieces, I didn't really go through a phase where I was really unsure, I really hated how they looked. And these, it's not that I hate them, it's just that I do feel a sense of discomfort because I don't really know exactly what they need or how to proceed at this point. So I feel like I've taken them as far as I can today without overthinking it or overworking it. So we're gonna step away, give this some time, and then come back and see how to finish these up. Also, a lot of people commented on my last art video about, why did you cover up the eyes? Or the eyes are the window to the soul and you covered that. It was distressing to some people, or they just weren't feeling how it looked, or they liked it better before that. Totally understandable, I get that. I'm not gonna be covering any eyes up this time, but in terms of why I did it for those two portraits in the past, for the man, I wanted it to go on my porch, and so I feel it's a little weird to have a giant portrait of someone you don't know on the front of your house, and so I wanted to give him a little bit of anonymity. Also, he does look a bit like me, and so I felt like it would be a little bit more anonymous to kind of cover his eyes up. It also is just a bit of an aesthetic thing with this style of portrait. I was kind of inspired by those New York City construction sites that are like plastered with posters and they're ripping off and layered, and some of the faces are defaced. And there's a mix of something that's really beautiful and polished and often like a fashion image covered or plastered over, and there's just something about it that feels very impermanent that I like. Also, I wanted the portraits to kind of elicit a feeling. I don't really know what that feeling is, but if I can describe it to you, maybe you can kind of put it in some like words down below. Help me out in the comments here. I'm a big Alexander McQueen fan, and one of his shows closed with Shalom Harlow coming out and walking onto a little turntable, and she was wearing this like perfectly clean white dress, and then it starts turning and these like robots come out and they start spraying her with like black and neon yellow paint, and she's like, no, don't spray me, and it's like this dramatic moment. And there's just something really beautiful about that to me, of having this like perfect white garment that's being like actively destroyed. And there's something about it that's kind of sad, but also really beautiful, and it's like actively becoming something new. Covering the eyes felt a little bit like that to me. And so this time I'm not covering the eyes, but there is something about the patterns on the face, the rip down the face. There's just this kind of like defacement, but in like a nice way. Does that make sense? Alright everybody, we're in the home stretch here. I'm ready to jump back in and finish these up. In addition to stepping away and giving these some space, I did take some pictures of them. That is a little tip that I have when you're wondering about how to proceed with something. It can be helpful to take a photograph of it, and it kind of removes you one step further from it. I think what I need to do here on the two women is to go in and wash those with a little bit more warm colors to kind of warm that up a little bit. And then I think on the man, we're gonna maybe do some drips on him that are a little bit darker, just to give a little bit more contrast. It's a little bit one note and flat. I'm really excited. Let's finish these up. These are done. I got them signed and sealed. I'm really happy with how they turned out. As always with this kind of creative process, leaning into the fate factor, seeing how the water interacts with the paper and the natural things that happen with the materials. I'm pretty surprised by the outcome. I wasn't sure how they were going to turn out. I definitely veered off course from some of the ideas that I had in the beginning, but at the end of the day, recognizing cool things as they happen and following that path is the best way to go, I find. I'm titling the male portrait The Pattern Maker. There was a comment on the last art video that I did when I used the patterns on, and someone said that it made them kind of emotional because their father was a pattern maker, and so I thought that would be cool to kind of honor that in this video. And he's covered in patterns, so that makes sense. The smaller female portrait I'm calling Windows. I ended up going in at the end and kind of highlighting her eyes a little bit more. I think the eyes were the most powerful part of that portrait, and we know the eyes are the windows to the soul. Also, it feels a little bit like she's peering through a window, so that felt appropriate. And finally, the larger woman that's been ripped in two, I'm calling her Pieces of You, titled after the Jewel album, because I guess I was feeling some Jewel song vibes happening in that image, and that felt appropriate as well. At the time this video goes live, all three of these are going to be available for purchase on my website. I am going to take them to the market tomorrow, so whichever place they sell first, we'll see, but I did want to make them available to you all as well. Thank you so much for everyone who's placed orders through my website so far. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate your patience as I've been figuring out how all of that works, so thank you so much. If you like this video, like this video. If you want to see more art making processes like this, hit the subscribe button. As long as you guys are wanting a window into my creative process, I'm happy to share that here. And it means so much to me to see the comments about how my creative process is inspiring you. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Queenie, sit. She's not gonna do it. Twirl. Twirl. Oh, that was the most hesitant twirl ever.